Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bits and Bites. That's right, it's about that time for all things consumable from all places you want to be. That's right, it's the United States edition still. How do we know? Because we keep a track. How we keep a track? Oh, I don't know. Who could say? Oh, I know. It's a very simple method. We do 50 states in 50 weeks. That's right. And if you check your math, we're on week 45. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. T, U. Vermont! Vermont is here! Vermont! Welcome to the show! We've been waiting so long to see you, Vermont. Welcome to the big stage. Week 45. Vermont, you made it. We're so happy. Thank you for bringing the maple syrup and your hippies and all of the beautiful things. Ah, the Ben & Jerry's, very beautiful. Thank you, Vermont. So kind of you. Let's take a peep at your flag. Per usual, we got the flag here. Let's take a lookie. All right, standard issue kind of blue vibe like we usually have. Looks like we got a deer head up top, some kind of situation. No years, but it does say freedom and unity, Vermont, which is about right. Yeah, well, everyone knows Vermont. Very free, very bold people up there. Very, how many times are we going to say the word hippie this episode? I'm not sure. Vermont, a very green state, a powerfully free state. I don't know. I think a relatively new state. Also, I could be wrong. Let's find out by going to the stupid fast facts. Bring it up. Vermont, nicknamed the Green Mountain State. I was right, green. Statehood, 1791, the 14th state. Well, I was way off. Population, 624,000? Damn it, it is a tiny state. Capital, Montpelier. Biggest city, Burlington, and the abbreviation is VT. Vermont. Ah, so happy to have you here, Vermont. Everyone's favorite part of the show, the state bird and the state flower. Let's take a look-see look. The state bird is the old, everyone knows, the hermit thrush. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bird. There it is. Uh-huh. I mean, that's a tiny little bird. I'm not quite sure what else there is to say here. It's a tiny little bird. I think a thrush is a type of bird or something. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a bird expert. It's not a bird show. I don't know how many times I have to clarify that. A lot of people seem to think it's a bird program. State flower, red clover. Let's see. We're also not a plant program. Oh, that's cool. It's a cool looking little fella. Look at that guy. All right. It's not a red clover? It's not what I would picture that to be. I don't know if that's true. That looks more like something else. But I don't know. What do I know? Just another week here. Pull it back. Pull it back. Just another week here. The old Bits and Bites. Vermont is here. We have a couple delicious bits and bites, of course, to get into. You know, before the ice melts any further, we should probably just dip right in to the old martini. Why are we having a martini? Why did I take the ice out of my glass before I was prepared? I don't know. We have Bar Hill Gin. Pull it up. Where is it? Caledonia Spirits. Bar Hill Gin. Now, Bar Hill Gin, landcrafted. I don't know why it says landcrafted, not handcrafted. Maybe, perhaps we'll find out. In the heart of Vermont, made with juniper and raw honey. Bar Hill Gin is our ode to the hard-working bees of the Northeast. All right. Each batch is distilled in our custom-built botanical extraction still. The juniper-forward botanicals are brought to the perfect balance by the floral depth of the raw honey. I haven't had this in a minute, and I do recall it having a large honey backbone. Exciting. The results are distinctive and unparalleled. How do we extract such complexity from the simple raw materials? Our secrets are kept in the hive. Ah, you guys are so clever. Ah, here we go. Great. We're going to watch a little video here. It's only a minute. These videos, let's be honest, we watched them before. They're generally terrible. But let's get this martini going before my water melts. 100% grain neutral spirits with juniper and honey distilled by Caldona Spirits. The best fertilizer is always the footprint of the farmer. Aw. So there's another cocktail that would be ubiquitous to make for Vermont. It would be called a cocktail called the Bee's Knees, which would make sense, but not tonight, folks. 2.5 ounces of the goods. 2.5 ounces of the gin. We're making just a straight up martini, baby. I don't know where my good vermouth is, but fresh bottle of martini on the Ross Street. Never heard nobody. I do a 2 to 5 on the martinis. I mean, a 5 to 1 on my martinis, which means 2.5 to ½ ounce. Blah blah blah. You don't care about that. Get the ice in there. Usually I hit it with a pinch of orange bitters for my taste, but we're going for pure Bar Hill Spirits here. You want to stir this till it's nice and diluted. Let's pull up the video and let's watch that. Ah, yes. Usually these videos are no bueno.
Where farmland meets forest.
Ah,
People
yes.
live by the land. Where deep woodland aromas mingle with wildflowers in sunlit fields.
Ah, yes, the bees.
Where time is measured by the ebb and flow of muddy springs, frigid winters,
These videos on the
balmy
website.
summers, and colorful autumns.
I don't want to cut them off, but rarely give us the
This is our
information we're looking for.
in the heart of our mindful approach to distilling. It spurs our creativity and serves as a guide on our quest to produce flawless, land-crafted spirits.
They really went for the land-crafted bit. That's their thing. All right, look, I mean, like most places, you know, we got a lot of awards. There's always a million awards. I feel like if I could probably put together an awards thing for our show here. We've won 0 awards. I'm sure I could put together an entire page based on our awards that we've won. I feel like every barbecue place I've ever been to that was mediocre at best has 20 awards. You know, all these things. Anyway, let's get right to it so we don't dilute any further. Let's pour this beautiful Bar Hill Gin Martini. Classic, clean, pure. I would hit it with a lemon zest. Hey, see, Ice Cube. See, this thing, this guy doesn't fit in here. This is too big. I lost my other stir. It's got to be down here somewhere in the studio. I don't know where to find it. Losing all my stuff. End of the show, end of the week, so losing all my stuff. So this is just a clean, pure martini, 2.5 ounces of the Bar Hill Gin, which has a pretty hearty honey backbone, if I recall, to 1 part. So cheers to Vermont. Let's get into it. The Bar Hill Gin, not just hyping it up because we're drinking it. The Bar Hill Gin has a inherent sweetness to it. So I think it goes the cocktail, the Bee's Knees, which is essentially the gin shaken up with some lemon and some honey syrup. Get it, Bee's Knees, honey, lemon. I don't even think it needs it. This has if you like martinis, this has a really heavy honey characteristic out the gate, which I'm a big fan of. They have a couple other products. They have a vodka. I'm personally not going to waste my time with that. Maybe it's fantastic. They have a Tomcat Gin, which I believe is aged in oak barrels. I think they call it a Tomcat Gin. Yes, of course, I'm over 21. What do I look like to you? Why are you asking me that? Uncharted territories with still be aged gin or new American oak barrels. For me, I don't want my gin aged in oak barrels. I've had some tasty ones. Maybe it's good. I don't know. It's not just for me. It's just not for me. But this isn't about me. This is about Vermont and the people of Vermont, the hippies of Vermont. I do like that on the bottles here. They put beeswax to seal the top. That's pretty dope. Stick with the theme of the honey, you know. And Bar Hill Vodka, which I haven't had, but I'm gonna guess has some of the honey vibe in it too. Yeah. Other spirits. We get it. You got 3 things. It's pretty fantastic. That said, really good stuff. Lots of great beers in Vermont. We could have went that way, but martini seems like the right move right now, so cheers. Now we gotta have a couple bites. I wonder if we could get, I just want a little bit more information on Bar Hill before we move forward. I wonder if there's a more in-depth video of something. Not a tasting by some dope. That's what I'm doing right now. Meet the Maker. All right, 2-minute video, Meet the Maker. These could be good. Give me some audio here.
Northeast Kingdom of...
Great audio.
I'm Todd Hardy, and I live in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont.
Northeast Kingdom of Vermont.
Spirits.
I do have to say, if you've ever met anyone from Vermont, they are a special breed, generally speaking. They definitely, Vermont's the closest thing to Texas where it's just like, fuck this. They're like this close to just saying, fuck the country. We're going to go do our own thing. In their own way, though. Their own weird, like, hippie way. Like, yeah, you know what I mean. If you've met these people, you know what I mean. I wish we had someone from Vermont that would agree with me. This guy, I'll tell you, he just said he's from the Northeast, what the hell do you call it? Country of Vermont?
I work with Caledonia Spirits. We work with local and regional honey from New York State and Vermont. And that honey is always good.
Great.
If it's raw. Raw honey really is a medicine and a food as well as a sweetener.
It's terrible idiot.
People also use honey to get over their allergies. If you use regional or local honey, it'll have little flecks of pollen in it that help you get over the allergy to that flower, and it really does.
I'm not quite sure.
Bar Hill is the tallest piece of land in our town where we live at Greensboro.
All right.
This label is from the top of Bar Hill looking down.
I'm not trying to slander this man, but he seems like he's had a few gins.
Mountain, Elmore Mountain, and the beginning of Mount Mansfield.
Which is, it's okay. We want this guy to. Do you want him to?
All these plants in the front are juniper berries. And while hiking around Bar Hill, we realized that juniper berries could be part of a great gin with raw honey.
Yeah.
Our head distiller, Ryan. Fermentation. We actually met him earlier. We borrowed his apple press to do research on.
What a bore.
The gin is made from corn and distilled with juniper berries and finished with raw
good.
honey. Our vodka has its first 3 weeks of being all honey water and yeast made into honey wine.
Okay.
And then on week 4, it's distilled into vodka. So our first whiskey's in the barrel.
I mean, it's probably delicious.
Barrel-aged gin in the bottle, and are going to work with making an elderflower spirit.
All right, well, sadly, you're a little bit of a bore there, fella, but it's okay. We're here to help you. The Bar Hill stuff does deliver on flavor. It's definitely got a honey backbone. I haven't had the vodka, like I said. The vodka probably does also. Again, the sweetness of this is really fantastic. It's definitely got a honey vibe to it. I love it. I really am a big fan of this. It's not always what you want in a martini, but like right now, it's delicious. And it probably goes well with dessert here, which is Ben & Jerry's, but let's see if we get one more Bar Hill. Tour and tasting. Well, I don't have an hour, but maybe we could get like a condensed version of that. What do you think about that? We could watch a bartender make the old bee's knees. Quarantini of the week. Drink up cocktails. I don't mind watching other YouTubers, but I also don't want to discredit them, as I really wouldn't want anyone watching this doing the same thing. Although I guess I would. Who gives a shit? A view's a view. Get in here. Let's watch this. Let's watch this weirdo. Let's see if this is any good.
It's Bee's Knees Week, the tail end, or the stinger end of Bee's Knees Week, as it were. And so we're...
Her production quality is already better than mine, so I can't really shit on her.
Lovely Bar Hill Gin in their Bee's Knees Week 2020 hashtag. That means you make a bee's knees, which you will learn how to do shortly, and then you Instagram a picture tagging Bar Hill Gin.
Production's off the charts. Already more editing in this than I've done in the entire series of Bits and Bites.
In return, Bar Hill will commit to planting 10 square feet of bee habitat.
Oh yeah, so they do a Bee's Knees Week thing, kind of like Negroni Week. Bar Hill sponsors it. If you tag them and stuff, they buy a fucking honeybee or something. Here, have some cocktails. Oh look, she's got a little promo and everything.
Bee's Knees.
Nice Russ and Daughters shirt. Gotta respect that.
Super, super simple. All you need is gin, honey, and lemon. And some ice.
I need a honey syrup, really.
What I like to
but
do
whatever,
is
you do what you want.
Gin, which uses honey as an integral component in their distillation process.
Yes, it does.
It's delicious. It's out of Vermont. Every batch.
See, now that would be the move. You want the honey that they make, because they do make a specific honey with the gin. So they make a Bar Hill gin, and they have the raw honey that they process, which I'm assuming is just extra from when they make the gin. To make this proper, you would want that. If you're using some local bullshit honey, I mean, that's probably going to be delicious and all, but come on, stick with the fucking goods. If you're going to do it, just do it.
A little different. And I think it tastes like a perfect summer day.
Great.
In your mouth. So here's what we're going to do.
In your mouth.
We're going to build this in a cocktail mixer instead of a shaker. You could use a shaker if you want. I just find that it kind of dulls everything down in this situation, and we want everything to be bright and summery.
She's gonna add honey into this.
Going to measure out
This is gonna
2
see. This is bothers me.
ounces of
I don't want to derail here,
you
but
can use another gin if you'd like, but I cannot recommend Bar Hill enough.
what are you gonna do?
They did not sponsor this. I'm just a huge fan.
You're gonna put the honey right in there and stir it? No, it's just gonna turn into a rock.
I think it's delightful.
I hope she made a syrup. No, don't do
Now,
it.
because there's honey mixed in with this gin already,
Don't do it.
I'm only gonna add a spoonful.
Don't do it.
Just
It's
to
just
give
gonna
it
become a
little
rock of
sweetness.
honey
If
in
you're
there,
using a
honey.
regular gin that is not sweetened, you'll probably want to add more. So it'll be about half an ounce.
Ah, no,
of
don't
honey
do it.
or
Don't
honey
do it.
syrup.
No, honey
Now,
syrup. You have to use honey
for
syrup,
lemon.
ma'am.
I'm gonna juice half a lemon. I'm gonna do it on the
Frustrating.
table so I don't spill it on myself. Using this beautiful.
She has too many non-stick
broken
pans
ceramic.
behind her. I think
Also,
we've given her enough
not
attention.
sponsoring us.
We heard they're not sponsoring. We know.
French
We could
Chelsea
tell.
doesn't make-
I wouldn't either. All right. I mean, you know, that's not how you make a bee's knees. You want to make a bee's knees, we can make it. Anyway, I think, is the number up? 843 Rebel TV, 843 Rebel TV. If you or someone you know is from the great and powerful state of Vermont, does it work? Let's see. Sounds like it works. I got a great couple of voicemails. So the number's up. Obviously, we're live right now. You could call, but when this show's replays and it's on YouTube, the number's still there, so people call it and leave messages. And I realized for the past 11 months, people have been leaving messages. There's a couple good ones. One of my favorite is that, I mean, I'm just going to play this. This has nothing to do with Vermont, obviously, but this is one of my favorite. Can you hear this?
Why the fuck is it asking me to leave a message? This is fucking stupid. Your system sucks.
I don't know why that would hit me so much. Why is it asking? It's a fucking answering machine. Why is it asking me to leave a message? Your system sucks. Yes, correct. I don't know. It just made me giggle. All right. So that's Bar Hill. I mean, the gin's very good. Again, it's got a honey backbone to it. If you're trying to make a cocktail and you're designing a cocktail with a thick honey backbone, or you want that sweetness that's there, discerning palates would say, yes, there's honey here. But if you don't have, if you didn't know it was honey, you would just think it's some kind of sweetness that's in with the drink. All right, well, obviously we have some Ben & Jerry's here. You can't do Vermont without Ben & Jerry's. But also we got a whole hunk of cheese. Why? Because we're in Vermont, baby. Cabot Cheese. Visit the Cabot Cheese Factory. Let's... So for the record, before we watch what appears to be a stunning video of amazing quality, I just picked this up earlier at the old Whole Foods, Jasper Hill Farm, Cabot cloth-bound cheddar. Let's get a little stat on that. Now, I know, like, when they say cloth-bound, because Cabot's not the only people to do this, it's a specific style of, it does something to the cheddar. I'm not a cheese expert. I do eat the cheese. I'm not an expert about it. But cloth-bounding a cheddar does do something. So this is looks like a collab, if you will, a fucking cheese collab. Can we zoom in here a little bit? 2003 Cabot Creamery. Jasper Hill Farms makes some fantastic cheeses. They're up in Vermont, as I believe is Cabot. I think Cabot's in Vermont. Cabot Creamery asked us to age a special batch of cheddar. This is Jasper Hill Farms talking. Sparking revolutionary collaboration. After more than a decade, the cheese has developed into the cornerstone of our collection. After it comes to the cellars, we coat the young cheese in lard and add an additional layer of cloth. All right. The cheese is ripened in a specially calibrated vault in our cellars, capital C for some reason, where they are constantly brush turned and monitored for quality. Sensory notes. Cloth bound is an approachable but complex natural rind bandaged cheddar with a crumbly texture and a nutty aroma. I'll be the judge of that. The flavor is deeply savory and slightly tangy with caramel sweetness to the finish. All right. Yeah, well, I mean, it crumbles. Ooh, this sounds, I mean, how dead is this with no music? Please, put the music on. What are you doing? Oh, let's just hear this dead silence. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, if you want to see the cheese, you can see the cheese. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen cheese before. It looks exquisitely crumbly. It also, you know, it's washed in lard, which is an interesting game. But, okay, fuck it. Pasteurized cow milk, bandaged cheddar. Oh, wow, it's really good. 32-pound wheel, aged 9 to 14 months. Wow, I'm not gonna lie. I thought I had this before. I was being redundant in purchasing this. I've never had this cheese. That's fucking fantastic. Wow. Cloth bound is a signature Italian caramelized rustic crystalline texture, definitely, that becomes creamy on the palate. This savory sweet balance of flavor makes a perfect match for charcuterie, apple jelly, or a rich chestnut honey. Well, how about honey gin martini? What do you think about that? Paired with an off-dry sparkling apple cider would be fantastic. Probably the top pairing. Hoppy ale or an oaked Cabernet Sauvignon. Cloth Bound is an award-winning cheese, including American Cheese Society, blah, blah, blah. See, everyone's got awards. Everyone's got awards. I can't wait to put out all the awards that we won for this show at the end of the year. Don't laugh. Many, many awards for this. All right, so let's watch the Cabot Cheese Factory in Cabot, Vermont. Let's see. Let's learn about cheese. Fuck it.
Cabot is a farmer-owned cooperative.
Okay.
These are our stores.
Look at this guy.
One of the Cabot retail operations.
Holy shit.
The visitor center.
Hold on. I can't believe we didn't even do this. We didn't even look at the goddamn state. We didn't even do the opening bit. Losing track. Where are we in the goddamn country, for those of you that don't know? I feel Vermont's very close to me, and I've been there a lot, so I didn't even think about this one. Vermont, there it is in the northeastern United States, known for its natural landscapes, which are primarily forested. Part of the New England region. Also known for being home to more than 100 19th century covered wooden bridges, and as a major producer of the old maple syrup. Thousands of acres of mountain terrain are crossed by hiking trails and skiing slopes. Vermont butts right up on Canada, right next to Montreal. I suggest if you're going to Vermont, you should definitely visit Montreal. Montreal, what a great city. Montreal's beautiful. Miss it. Montreal to the north, which is Canada, obviously, for you dopes. New Hampshire right to the east. Massachusetts right to the south. And New York, Albany side, north side, on the west. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It gets cold up there. You're in the fucking cold. Zooming in, we have Burlington and Montpelier. Burlington is a city that's over on the water over here. It's like, I don't know, it's like one massive downtown. It smells like weed. And Montpelier, I've never been to. I think I've driven through. And this road here, what I do know, this Waterbury, this highway, whatever highway this is, fantastic eats and drinks along that road between Montpelier and Burlington. The rest of the state, I've been to a couple places, scattered about though. Middlebury, I think I've been to. Killington's a thing I hear about a lot. People who like to ski, snowboard, they fucking love Vermont. You ski and snowboard and you're from New Jersey, you're always trying to fucking shred some fucking gnar. You know what I'm saying? The kids are always trying to shred some gnar up in Vermont. Anyway, that's that. I don't believe we didn't even hit that first. Well, we're going off the goddamn rails here at the end of the season. Back to the Cabot tour.
Very rural. If you're coming to Cabot, you're going to see Cabot cheese being made.
All right.
And have all the samples. Cabot
Good.
is a tiny little town in Vermont. You really have to hunt for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a beautiful drive. You're going to see some of our farmer owners along the way.
Great.
And everybody who I've ever talked to, whether you're in Florida or Texas or Denver, and have told me about visiting the plant, has loved it. One of the things is the cheese sampling, which you can
one of the things is cheese
load
sampling.
up on cheese, and you'll also find products that the Cabot farmers make that you won't find in any other store. They have everything. Sour cream. We have some fancy butters. We don't even do mail order on because butter's hard to ship. So if you really love...
We got butter and sour cream, guys, so make sure to visit.
Of Cabot products there, plus a lot of...
Remember pre-COVID? Look at this. People just eating cheese off a table like an animal.
We make not only cheese, we make the world's best cheddar cheese. Cabot's won every single award, more awards than any other dairy in the country. The tour's $2.
$2. Too rich for my blood.
Watch the video, and then we actually take you into the plant.
Oh, what a boring. Oh, God, look at these fucking people.
And then we actually
what a boring. You tell me I got to pay $2 to sit in front of a TV and watch essentially this video with these fucking kids? Look at these kids. I don't know if you can see them. You want to stand by these kids after spending $2?
And there's big picture windows. You can see the cheese vats. The Cabot Visitor Center is one of the few places left in the country where we actually have open cheese vats where you can see the curds, you can see the whey being drained off, the cheese is pressed there. The cheddar actually means to press, and then it's packaged, boxed up. We also have a robotic Holstein that...
Can't stop eating this fucking cheese, I'll tell you that.
And the cottage cheese, so that's kind of neat. Everybody remarks about the Holstein robot, and you'll just get it.
No one remarks about it. Don't kid yourself. Jasper Hill makes some fantastic cheeses, and dare I say, a little bit more exciting than that. Let's see if we can get a Jasper Hill video. I'd like to learn more. Oh, wait, look at this. Jasper Hill Farm and Caledonia Spirits. Oh, are you telling me the people who make the gin are also Jasper Hill Farm? I didn't fucking know that.
At Jasper Hill Farm and Caledonia Spirits, we look to the land to inspire what we make.
Yeah.
The landscape that we inhabit is rich with natural beauty.
Okay.
A bounty of forageable aromas and flavors, and a long history of agricultural perseverance.
Yeah, they love agriculture.
It's the shared legacy that moves us towards using land-crafted ingredients and creating the taste of place.
Jasper Hill makes some banging cheeses.
Our bond with the land led us to collaborate on this special edition Harbison. This soft cheese is made with milk from our own herd and has been hand-wrapped in a juniper-infused spruce bark. We wash young wheels with Caledonia Spirits Bar Hill Gin to impart an aromatic complexity.
Oh, wow. So they're all right, so there is some kind of collab here. They're washing it with the gin. On not this cheese, but some of the cheeses.
Which is comprised of hundreds of regional botanicals.
Can I stop and not eat this whole fucking thing of cheese?
Some of this special cheese with a bee's knees. A classic gin cocktail perfect for pairing with our special wash Harbison.
This guy's gonna make a good one. Here we go. 2 ounces. In. 3/4 lemon. In. What's a dude's arm say? What the hell? He's got a tat in his arm. I can't read it. Dozen sea goats. I don't think that's what it says. I think I'm reading it wrong. Something tells me his arm doesn't say a dozen sea goats, but who could say? I sit down and shake it up. Where'd the honey come from? Did I miss the honey? Sorry, I was reading his arm. Oh, raw honey syrup. There you go. See, he made a syrup. You can just throw fucking honey in there. It's probably fantastic. Nice shake on this guy. This guy's got a killer shake. Good job. Ah, 3-point. 3-point shake. Go for it. Get it. Chilled glass, of course. Yeah, it's a delicious cocktail. I mean, the honey in that, honestly, I mean, I'm getting so much honey from this on its own. The bee's knees, which I've had, is delicious. It's just so honey forward. You'd be impressed by how much honey this has on its own merit without adding it. Oh, goals. His arm says something about goals or goats. Whatever. Yeah, it looks great, dude. Cut off the top of the chi. That's the right way to do it, everybody, in case you didn't know. Oh, yeah, I'll fuck that up all day. I mean, I can live off that. Is that the whole video? Sorry, I would have ended that earlier. Sick that Jasper Hill Farms and the Bar Hill get together and do that, though. That's pretty dope. All right, I don't know how much more I could listen to these fucking dudes talk about cheese or watch a cheese video, to be honest with you. Maybe just this one about Jasper Hill. Let's see.
New Hampshire, south.
This looks terrible.
Over at Old.
Yeah, this is terrible. That ain't gonna work. All right, bring us back, guy. All right. So the Cabot Quality Cheddar Jasper Hill collab. Killer fucking chic. Bar Hill Gin. Fantastic. Ben and Jerry's on deck to eat for dessert. And then also, we need to look at... I feel like there's got to be a video if I just type Vermont hippies. Now, if you don't know anything about Vermont, if you're in the West Coast or you've never been there, you know, the band Fish is from the Vermont. The Fish from Vermont. The Fish from Vermont. Everyone remember them? They're fantastic. An outsider's critique of Vermont. I don't know what this is, but let's go. I hate these. This is clickbait bullshit. No! Blah, blah, blah. I thought we'd have a nice little, like, all gas, no brakes Vermont video, but... sorry. I guess not. Vermont. Vaccine. No. Vermont byways. Unclaimed properties. Maple syrup. That is true. We covered. No, I have no Vermont maple syrup products here. But maple syrup is like they're the #1 exporter of maple syrup. And there are a couple grades of maple syrup. I'm glad this picture is right here. I can tell you about that. Maple syrup comes in multiple grades. There's fancy. You see the golden to the dark, right, on the screen there? Yeah. The golden is the fancy grade. If you're paying the good money in the store, generally that's what you're going to get. Grade A medium, grade A dark, and grade B, which I believe have actually been rebranded recently, because grade B, it sounds negative, but I dare say grade B maple syrup is the best of the syrups. It's the most raw, the most unprocessed, and has most of the nutrients and all of this powerful maple flavor. If you get your hand on grade B maple syrup, I highly, highly recommend that. It's what I stock in my house. When I need maple syrup, I'm chugging the B. Follow the steam, pure Vermont made. That seems like what we want to do. Show me the maple syrup. This is a 15-second video. This is terrible. Sap to syrup. Here we go.
Vermont,
give me the hit.
We enjoy a reputation of making the best maple syrup.
I also hate how they say syrup. Maple syrup. It's syrup. S-Y-R-U-P. Syrup. I'm not an English teacher, but I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. Syrup.
The wonderful things about our state is that we've been sugaring for hundreds of years.
Nancy Patch!
And many of these sugar bushes are multi-generational.
Nancy Patch looks like she hasn't left Vermont in ages.
This particular sugar bush is managed by the Cold Hollow Career Center, which is a high school trade school. The students can work on the pipeline here, and they'll be making maple syrup this spring, and that helps them raise money for their school and provide them with all kinds of equipment that they can use to learn their trade, learn how to be loggers and foresters and sugar makers.
Sugar makers.
It's a really special kind of sugar bush.
It's kind of funny because, you know, having students from different families, you always get a couple that come up to the sugar house the first time and say, "Where are the buckets?"
Where are the buckets? No one says that. But the sugar house is something we'll look up. I just want to put this here so we can look. Sugar house is definitely a thing. I'm sure they exist in Vermont, but in Canada they're big. We'll just made a note to get to that. Back to it.
So, you know, there's differences, and students that have worked in high vacuum systems definitely teach a lot of the other ones that have worked in, you know, gravity or bucket systems. I've been sugaring my whole life.
Sugaring.
And students teach me stuff every day. It's learning for everybody.
I've been sugaring my whole life.
The new stuff, the old stuff, the way Grandpa does it, and the way we're going to do it in 10 years from now.
You and me both, brother.
The industry really provides lots of jobs.
People think of Vermont, they think of syrup.
Syrup.
And it makes it a
syrup
place for that.
We tap both sugar maple and red maple.
It's a food grade product. It's always been a part of my life. We sugared every year since I was,
Sugared every year. I like how they use that as a verb. We sugared every year.
We hope that everybody will get out during sugaring season and visit your local sugar house. We have Maple Open House coming in the middle of March, and also the Vermont Maple Festival. Everyone gets to bring samples of their syrup.
Vermont Maple Festival. Hold up. Let's pull that up. You know we love a festival here. Vermont Maple Festival. I think I might have my March plans. The 54th Vermont, April 22nd to 24th, 2022. We're coming back. Yes. The Vermont Maple, a sweet history. Sugaring season's upon us. All right, back to the video.
Really be proud of the history and what we're doing here in Vermont, because it is unique, it's special, syrup is special,
syrup.
And we have to rely on Mother Nature to make sure that we get it out of the trees. So come join us. We hope to have you come visit.
Everyone in Vermont is high, also, in case you didn't get that footnote at the top of the episode.
We'll see you in March.
Everyone is constantly high. All right, we get it. I'll look up a Vermont Sugar House just because I know the one in Montreal, what they do, and it's kind of like a feast. But let's look up the ones in a Vermont Sugar House. Here we go, making one of the sweet treats that I know Sugar Houses do. Sugar House, for those of you that don't know, is where the maple syrup is processed. So they process the maple syrup in a multitude of ways, comes out of the tree, like I said, pumps and vacuums and gravity, whatever fucking feed they do. But once they get it, they have to cook down the sap, the juice that comes out of the tree. It's not just syrup. You don't just open the fucking tree and it just drips out fucking maple syrup. They got to cook that shit down. It's actually maple water. As a matter of fact, it's a product that you could buy similar to like coconut water. It's called maple water. I tried to get my hands on this, but I couldn't get it. This is the big brand that's out there, Drink Simple. It tastes fine. It's not fantastic, but it's all right. Maple water is pure sap from the maple trees. Period. End of sentence. That's all we need to know about this. When you have the pure sap, it's, I'm sure they tell you why it's so good, all this stuff. But if you want maple syrup out of it, you got to cook that shit down. And that's where those gradients that I showed you come in. The grade A fancy cooks a little bit longer. It's a little bit more refined. And the other, the darker it gets. Well, maybe it's the other way. I don't even fucking know. Maybe the darker it gets, the more it cooks. I'm not 100% sure. I would have to think the fancy is the one that is cooked further, but I could be wrong. That doesn't make much sense since grade B has all the nutrients. It's less refined. So I don't fucking know. Let's watch this video here. One of the sweet treats that I know they do just before we start this video is at the Maple Houses. A lot of them do big dinners during maple season, and they focus all of the food around what they call sugaring season, the sugar harvest. And so, everything is like a ham covered in maple, or this covered in maple, and maple this, maple that, maple that. But when you're up in Canada and you're up in sugar country, maple syrup country, one of the sweet treats that they have is, since there's fucking snow everywhere up there because it's cold as shit, they get one of those like popsicle sticks, stick it in a thing of honey, and then roll it in snow. And like I was complaining about before, that poor woman was making a very terrible bee's knees. When the honey hits the ice or any kind of cold, it solidifies. So the idea is to take the goopy honey on a popsicle stick and, goop it off and then hit it right in the snow and it rock solid, spin it, get it all like twirled up, and then you can suck it like a candy. It's one of the things they do. Don't fucking tell me you don't learn anything in this program. It's one of our many awards that we've won, most educational series on YouTube for years in a row. All right, let's watch the sugaring series. This looks like a terrible video.
Hi, I'm Justin Turco.
Hi, Justin.
Welcome to the Crossroads Sugar Company.
Thanks.
Today I want to show you a little bit about how we make maple syrup in Vermont and give you an introduction to our sugar house.
Thanks, sugar.
What we need to do is tap a tree. And to do that, we'll use a 7
Okay, this is fantastic.
inch drill bit.
I love that we watched the guy before who was like, yeah, we don't do it that way anymore. This guy's like, nope, we fucking hand drill trees.
Now we've got a nice sugar maple here. The way that you tell a sugar maple tree is the fact that it has this silvery lichen that grows.
This guy's not the best. How long is this video? Good God.
A red maple, you won't get that. The tree will just be a little bit.
You've lost me, sir. Let's fast forward.
Through that valve, through the wall of the sugar house.
Oh my God.
And then into the reverse osmosis.
All right, here we go.
Where it's raised from 2.5% sugar content to about 7.5 to 9%.
So we're sucking all the juice off the tree and running through reverse osmosis. Got it.
Sap then flows through that blue pipe there into this stainless steel storage tank.
Okay. So it's full of sap. I'm sorry, this video is terrible. It's not going to work. Could you give me something else? I need something a little bit better than that. That was atrocious. Here, visiting a small, efficient Vermont sugar house.
Double D Sugar House.
Here we go.
We're going to speak about his evaporator that he's using here.
Great evaporator.
American set of pans, and you top 300?
Yep, top about 300 trees.
I don't know what this is. What's happening here? Just show me how it's working. So, oh, wow, nice. He's got a real fire under there. You throw all the sap in that bitch and you cook it up. Should be smoking some ribs on top of that, right?
Throw it back at you.
These guys are having too much fun. Also not teaching me anything. Lots of evaporation happening. Like I said, you got to get rid of all that water to make the syrup. Trying to find a nice, concise video here, but apparently they don't exist. Following a farmer. I'd rather not. Vermont Sugar House made its way into a TV series. That's okay. Here we go. Pure Vermont, a look at the maple sugaring process. This might be a good one, we hope. Mad River Valley Television.
25 years, and I grew up in southern Vermont. And
we could tell. Again, everyone in Vermont's stoned, so forgive me.
Sold syrup to Coombs Sugar House, a local sugar house, for years. When I was in college in Middlebury, I worked at a sugaring operation south of Middlebury, and so I've been pretty much doing it my whole life.
The window for sugaring is not that long, with specific weather conditions needed to start production.
This guy got a backpack on with a child.
We only sugar for about maybe 30 days a year.
I love they call it sugaring.
The temperature has to go down below freezing, into the 20s at least, and it has to warm up in the daytime, usually around 38 or 40.
So we work 2 weeks out of the year, you know, make our maple syrup.
What's happening there is that when it freezes, just like any liquid, sap expands, and it expands up into the twigs of the tree. And when it warms up, the sap goes back down to the roots where the tree's storing its carbohydrates.
Okay, makes sense.
Take about 2% of that sap as it goes by on those few days that
2%.
It runs.
Has climate change had an impact on the sugaring process?
You know, traditionally, when
fantastic editing in this video, by the way. Can we get more to the process here? Let's go. We don't need the hard-hitting questions. Show me.
Having an energy-efficient operation is very important to Dave.
Great.
And he has done a number of things to manage his energy costs and reduce his carbon footprint.
Great.
When I rebuilt and expanded the Sugar Wish 2 years ago, my goal was to become the most efficient sugar operation possible.
Okay.
So it starts, we have a state-of-the-art vacuum pump with a computer in it.
Lovely.
That when the vacuum pump doesn't need to be on, most vacuum pumps are either on or off, and when they're on, they use a tremendous amount of energy.
I'm stunned that there's not a simple, here's how we make maple syrup video. There's nothing, you know. Where's this simple, where's the, you know what we want? We want Vermont maple, how it's made. Remember that show? There's got to be a how it's made. How real Vermont syrup is made.
Largest maple syrup.
This is fantastic. This is what we're looking
under
for.
A couple feet of snow is a giant.
I mean, this isn't how it's made. I wish it was actually the show how it's made. If you've ever seen that, it's fantastic. Very cut and dry. Ugh, I'm annoyed. I've had enough maple syrup already. I wish we were done with this part. All right, let's go.
So the company may be young, but it's not one of these trees.
Fast forward.
This is we're pulling water out of the sap and concentrating the maple syrup into another solution.
Got it.
Because so much water is removed during this process, it takes about 44 gallons of sap to make just 1 gallon of maple syrup.
Yeah, see, it's a pain in the dick. It's why it's expensive.
Loaded up into trucks and brought to the sugar house, where it's finally turned into maple syrup. In traditional sugaring techniques, turning sap into syrup means boiling it over direct heat, so the water evaporates. But the Maple Guild pioneered a new method that speeds up the process. It's called steam crafting. Instead of boiling the sap, it's steam heated at a lower temperature using coils. With this system, the Maple Guild can make 55 gallons of maple syrup in just 90 seconds. While in traditional boiling techniques, it can take anywhere between 9 and 56 hours to produce just 1 gallon of syrup. Not only is the steam crafting method quicker, but the company says it also produces a more nuanced maple flavor.
Oh.
Because sap can go bad quickly, it has to be transported to the sugar house within 3 hours of being tapped.
Damn.
And usually within 6 hours, it will become that golden maple syrup.
Grade A right there.
When the sap is running, it can run for a day, it can run for a week, and then it can stop for 2 days or 3 weeks.
Right.
And it's really whatever the weather gives us. But whenever that sap is running, we will have people at this plant 18, 24 hours a day nonstop while that sap is running.
So what I'm learning is Vermont people just work for like 2 months out of the year at best to make maple syrup.
Once the sap's turned into syrup, it's tested to make sure the sugar...
And Trey Fred.
I'm not going to be honest. We've had enough maple syrup. We got it. Sorry about that. That was a lot of maple syrup talk. Just wanted to get to that bit. Let's get right to... There's the maple syrup we learned about. Ben & Jerry's. So we have the old Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Everyone knows Ben & Jerry's, right? Ben and Jerry, the two of them. This is still solid, I hope. Oh, God. So I went with the old... This is quite room temp, you know what I mean? I went with the old Cherry Garcia. I was going to get the fish food. Just because we're in Vermont, you know? But we're real soft here. Cherry Garcia. One of the classic flavors. Cherry ice cream with cherries and fudge flake. Cherry vanilla. Oh, yeah. Fantastic ice cream. Big ass chunks of cherries in there. Ben & Jerry's, legendary Vermont ice cream makers. Recently in the news for something, I forget what. They make a lot of wacky flavors. That's their thing too. They make a lot of great flavors. Honestly, one of my favorites for Ben & Jerry's. Oh, you can't see what I'm looking at. Sorry. One of my favorites in Ben & Jerry's is the classic vanilla. Very good ice cream. Apparently they have a Thanksgiving pie one. I'm not surprised at all by that. Let's see a little clip on the Ben & Jerry. And then we could call it, here we go, Vice Tour. They just say that Ben of Ben & Jerry has a thing where he can't smell or taste?
It's because they're always going to taste.
Okay, so